Welcome, everybody, to the Hoops Post Up. Today, this trade machine is talking about an individual player who just needs to be traded. Bless his heart, he's been sitting for a while. His name, Andre Iguodala.
That's right. It's about time for Iggy to just move. I mean, come on. Just collected enough rust already. Get to a team so we know who's going to be now the favorite in the NBA race because it's going to be either a team from LA or one of these upstart Eastern Conference teams that thinks they have a chance, like maybe the Heat. All right, so let's
I don't
talk
know, I saw
about
Boston the other night.
Boston. Boston's looking pretty good at blowing out the Lakers. Who knows? We'll see. What is the trade machine going to kick up today?
All right, so first up, we're going to take a look at the very first trade option this time. We're going to be looking at a couple of teams.
That's right. We're going to spread it out. We really don't know where Iguodala is going to go, and there's pretty much half the NBA is now in the market, not just for him, but some sort of an upgrade, and he could fit anywhere. Obviously, a guy who not only has multiple rings, but NBA Finals MVP, veteran guy who can help anywhere. So let's see.
Okay, so the first two teams, obviously the Grizzlies being one, this time Clippers. The Clippers would get Andre Iguodala, and the Grizzlies would get Mo Harkless and Jerome Robinson.
Got to get the LA teams out of the way with first. All right, let's just face it. Been talking about him going to the Lakers forever. Clippers are right there in the mix. Start with the Clippers. They really don't have as much to offer though, because let's first of all think about, okay, the Grizzlies have this asset that they've literally just been holding on, waiting to trade, right?
Yeah, they've been sitting on this one for a while.
That he's sitting there not playing just so that they can trade him, and this is their chance to get something back, right? Get some assets for the future. This is a really young team, looking pretty good, right? John Morant's
I love my
guy that
John
we picked
Morant.
for Rookie of the Year. Dylan Brooks is playing really well, and so what do they need? Do they need a guy who's going to help them, like Andre Iguodala, make a playoff run? No, not this year. Okay. So here's the question: a guy like Harkless, and then let's not discount Robinson, right? He's a solid piece off the bench. Is that what the Grizzlies should be looking for?
Okay, well, if I think about this, right, we're looking at Mo, same size, but he does have a little bit of a like longer wingspan, right? He can get a little bit better blocks. He's a little bit better on the 3-point line. I see it as a small upgrade.
A little bit, obviously younger. Of course, pretty much every single player that we're going to list here is younger than Iguodala. I like Harkless, even though you look and they're basically almost the same size. I don't know. To me, Harkless just kind of plays bigger. I think he's a little more effective a rebounder these days than Iguodala. It's kind of the same guy though, right? Harkless. But here's the thing. Yeah, he's younger, but he's not young. He was, what, I think 29 or 30. This guy's been around a few years. This isn't really what the Grizzlies should be going after, right? I mean, to me, I assume that they want draft picks, and if not a draft pick, at least a younger player, right?
Yes. Well, when I think about this, why wouldn't you want Andre playing? Like if this is what your deal is, I would prefer someone who has that championship
Good point.
experience, being in the playoffs, being that clutch player that he has been. And then, he's really good on defense.
And that's a great point. If you're going to get a guy who's going to be basically a 3-and-D guy, somebody who's a veteran, why not just stick with Iguodala? Obviously, the money, you see there's a difference, but then if you're making the swap, it's got to be somewhat even. You're saving a little bit of cash, but this is a one-year contract anyways. I mean, just you've been waiting this long, you just wait it out. So, yeah, it really doesn't do anything for the Grizzlies.
No, I don't see this doing very much for either team, actually. Do you think it's more beneficial to the Clippers?
Actually, that's
Yeah.
I mean, really, what are the Clippers? Is this a massive upgrade? I mean, you say, okay, Iguodala has that experience, but in the midst of the game, is he going to bring something to the table that Harkless doesn't besides experience? I mean, you really need a locker room guy there, a veteran who's been there. I think you have Kawhi Leonard. So, yeah, I don't know. This doesn't really do anything for me.
For me, I think it does benefit the Clippers just a little bit when I'm looking at both sides, both ends here. That would be my opinion. But I don't know. How would you rate this?
I'm going C minus. I don't think
Oh, very good.
it's good on either. No, I don't think it is good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
What,
saying very good because we're seeing eye to eye.
you going C minus too?
I was gonna go C minus.
Okay.
We're
Well, you
starting to
asked me
agree
first.
more. This is crazy.
You asked me for what? You do enough of these, you start to get that Borg mindset and think alike. All right, let's move on. No
All
more
right, let's
Clippers,
take a
and
look at
let's
the
move
next
straight to the
one.
Lakers. Why not?
Sure, of course. Okay, so we have the Lakers getting Andre Iguodala, and wow, Danny Green.
Your
Danny
man,
Green is being shipped out, and Quinn Cook.
your man, Danny Green, your ex-man.
Wow.
Just
Tar Heels. Woo!
let's just go. Let's just get this out of the way first. Admit it. You used to love when he was a Spur. Love Danny Green, and then
Oh,
you
when he
pulled a
was
180, and now you
yeah,
turned on
yeah,
him.
yeah. Okay, so when Danny Green was first starting out, he was on our bench quite a bit, and I used to yell at Pop and yell at the TV and yell at the stadium, like, "Come on, Pop, bring him in," because he was quality player. He is amazing on defense, right? And he actually had his strong work ethic when he first started, but then he got stale and stagnant towards the end of his time at the Spurs. So with the Spurs, and so my feelings toward him changed slightly, especially when he became buddy buddy with Kawhi. So.
Oh, there you go. So now he's just a traitor. So,
No,
and then becoming a Laker, that's like the final straw.
no,
But
no, no, no.
well,
It's
how
not.
do you feel? Okay, let's look at from the Grizzlies standpoint. Getting Danny Green, now quality player, right? Obviously got championship
Yeah.
experience too. He's
He's
still
been
kind of in
there.
his prime, maybe a little past, but basically.
I think he conditions himself pretty well.
But the question is again, if that's the type of player you're looking for, how much of an upgrade is it over Iguodala besides the fact that he's a few years younger? But again, is this the type of player that the Grizzlies should be looking for?
Well, if I have to make a trade, I'm getting 2-for-1. I'm looking at the numbers. The numbers are the same. Contracts expiring about the same time as well. Now, with Danny Green, his shooting percentage is actually higher than Iguodala. And so him with his experience, just like Iguodala does, right, has that championship experience. I like Danny Green's defense a little bit better and his perimeter shooting better.
Okay, so then that begs the question: why would the Lakers do this? If Green is a higher percentage shooter, which he is, right, especially from 3-point land, he's got championship experience too, right? You're looking for Iguodala, oh, the veteran, whatever. Danny Green has multiple rings also,
Right.
so and you're
Yeah.
getting older, actually. So what purpose does this serve for the Lakers?
I don't think it does, actually. I
I
don't.
don't think it does either.
I don't.
Because you're giving up just what you're getting back. It's an older version.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go D plus.
Wow.
I'm gonna go. It doesn't make sense for Lakers.
Doesn't make sense for the Lakers, but I like what it's doing for the Grizzlies. So I'm going to be a little skewed
a little
on
Laker
my
hater?
grading.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to go C.
Okay, that's not too bad.
All right, up next we have the Grizzlies, Kent Bazemore, and they would also receive their first round pick. I think that's what they're looking for, right?
That's-
Trying to get younger.
That's what they should be looking for.
Yeah, no. And then the Trailblazers would get on trade.
So we know that Bazemore's been in trade rumors all over the place because, again, an expiring contract. He's not really going to be the piece that's going to move them forward, if they're going to make a run, which apparently they're still hell-bent on doing this year, right? They might as well, hey, if you're getting Carmelo, dragging him out of retirement, you're making a run. Okay, so instead of Bazemore,
You're searching for something.
you're searching. Well, you add Iguodala to the mix, you're just gonna make yourself the oldest team in the league. But this makes more sense. I like the Blazers trying to get that piece, right? Because they're a little bit more desperate for someone to fill that spot at the 3.
Not too much different with Kent Bazemore.
Not too much. Again, you're gonna
Right?
see a common theme here. A lot of the same type of player.
He's
Bazemore,
a few years younger. He's 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iguodala's 35, almost 36 at the end of the month. He has a birthday.
It's a little bit better of a score. Then there's that first round pick. So here's the thing. So is it worth it for the Blazers to give up Bazemore, which not giving up because it's again 1-year contract, and that first round pick? Is that enough for just getting Iguodala back to make that push this year? I mean, really, is that going to push them past the Lakers, the Clippers, Dallas, all these teams?
Well, if I think of their mindset, they went after Carmelo. I think they're wanting that veteran leadership, and think they want something that's solid, and they'll have confidence during the end of the game. They can trust that he's going to come in if they need him off the bench and be clutch.
But they don't need that. They got Dollar Dame. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
who else do you need? You got Damian Lillard. I mean, there's no more clutch than him.
Yeah,
So
maybe
to
they just
me,
want depth on their bench.
well, depth. I don't know. To me, if they're going to go after somebody, I think the Blazers, it should be a big man. That's what they need, right? As long as Nurkic is out. So, right idea, wrong fit.
Okay, so he's going D or something from what way he
Not
sounds.
that low. I'll go C. I'll go C.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay, you're just like ripping this one apart, and then you're going C, neutral.
Well, I didn't say it was terrible. I'm just saying it's just not the best.
All right, well, it's a C for me as well.
Okay. Well, there you go.
All right, so up next we have the Grizzlies. Wow, getting Tobias Harris seriously and Zaire Smith.
Now I get more interesting. We'll step it
Wow,
up.
so the 76ers are going to give up those two players, and they're going to receive Solomon Hill, Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder. I always tell you this. I always think Jay Crowder's a football player. I don't know why. I know he's not, but I think
Maybe thinking
he
of
sounds
Channing
like-
Crowder, I guess.
No.
I don't know.
Anyway, back to it. And then we have Marco Guduric.
That's right. Little package of players there. Now, here's the thing. Are the Sixers really going to give up Tobias Harris, who, as far as we know, is their most clutch player, right? The guy who, at the end of the game, it's not going to be Simmons, right, with the ball in his hands at the end of the game. You might hope it's
Yeah.
not Embiid, right, jacking up threes. To
Aw.
me, it's Tobias Harris. I don't know why you would give him up. They need to add, and then you're taking away one of your best players. So, I mean, just right there, it kills it for me.
It kills it for me too. And our friend Keith out there, Keith, shout out to Keith. He's a Sixers fan. I know he would be against this for sure.
I would think so. Let us know. I know you're watching,
Keith,
but
tell us what you think. Seriously, I'm not okay with this for your team, and it's kind of my team too, because I've got some former Spurs on there.
and the coach. And Zaire Smith, could be a good young player. And you're getting basically three versions of the same guy. You're getting Iguodala, Solomon Hill, Jay Crowder. It's like Attack of the Clones here, right? That's not what Philly needs. So to me, going D minus.
Yeah, I would have to go D for me. Yeah. Okay, so up next we have the Grizzlies and the Heat. Ooh,
There you go.
your team. Your team. What are you giving up? What are you giving up?
Not too much. I like this one already.
Okay, let me take a look.
Let's just get it out of the way with it. This is
oh,
an A.
this is just a bunch of.
A minus.
Oh, okay.
All right,
This is
go
a
ahead.
bunch of. Okay. James Johnson, Justice Winslow, and Dion Waiters. We all know about Dion Waiters, right? We all
Oh,
know
yeah.
he's a little bit of.
Send him packing right now.
Yes, we all know he has a little bit
Just
of
right there. I don't even
bad-
care what we get back. Just addition by subtraction. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, and then the Heat would get Andre Iguodala, Solomon Hill, and Jay Crowder. That looks really nice for the Heat.
Well, what's nice is the fact you're really not giving up anything critical. James Johnson, he's not a bad player, but again, he was stuck at the end of the bench until recently. And, coming on, I would rather have Iguodala than Johnson. Okay, I'll tell you that straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Winslow is a good player. Don't hate Winslow. But I kind of forget how he plays because he hasn't played all year. Okay, he doesn't play. He's always hurt.
Oh,
I mean,
we
I'm
talked
sorry.
about that,
You're
yeah.
making a run, right? You have a chance to have the best record in
Yeah.
the East, potentially, or at least one of them. You can't have a guy who's sitting there always hurt. I'd rather have the guy, even if he's older, who's going to actually help you
Have
this
some
year.
veteran leadership.
Okay? And then
Yeah.
Waiters, just get rid of him. And then Winslow's role could be filled, fairly well by Hill and Crowder. Same with Johnson.
Okay, I know you're leaning toward how it's going to benefit the Heat, and because that's just
Well, that's all that
just
matters.
natural, right? Of course.
Okay, go
Okay,
Grizzlies.
but think about the Grizzlies. How is this going to help them? Is this going to benefit them? I mean, I
Yes.
know they're getting rid of, one player, two player, three. They're getting rid of the same amount of players and salary, right?
Mhm.
So how is this improving?
Well, and also, I'll tell you what
Because
else
Dion
is...
Waiters has issues.
But no, but he's a good player. He can score, right? He's like the modern microwave, right? Vinny Johnson, remember? He can come off and he can light it up. He can score if he's hot, and if he's cold, and he won't even hit the basket. But he can score. He's not a bad player.
Do you
He's
think
got
he just needs
other
a fresh
issues.
start? Do you think he
Maybe.
just needs to get out of Miami because there's way too much to do in
I'm
Miami?
thinking that's what it is. But here's the thing, Winslow, what I just said about Winslow,
Yeah,
he's still on a pretty good contract there for 3 years, $13 million
yeah,
dollars. He can be a really solid rotation
that's true.
guy
That's true.
if he's healthy, and the
Yeah,
Grizzlies don't need him for this year. If they have him possibly a
just get
healthy Winslow
healthy.
for
Yeah,
2 years,
it would still help them.
that and all you're giving up is expiring contracts of veterans. You're giving up Iguodala, which
Right,
you're going to give up anyways,
right.
and then Johnson is a pretty solid player. Again, better for the Grizzlies than the Heat, because at the Heat he's kind of that ninth, 10th man. On the Grizzlies, he could be a sixth man.
Excellent. I'm seeing this more favorable compared to the ones that we have already looked at.
Oh yeah,
I'm going B minus on this one.
A minus all the way for
Okay.
both sides. For both sides.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the Pacers and the Grizzlies. The Pacers, they get Andre, right?
Mhm.
And then the Grizzlies would get Jeremy Lamb and McDermott.
Well, the Pacers, not a team, that jumps to the front of your mind when you're thinking of these Eastern Conference contenders. They're there. They're kind of right in the middle of the mix. Is Iguodala enough to push them over the edge? No. And then for the Grizzlies, Lamb is a nice player, but he's not super young. McDermott isn't either. They're just kind of role guys that, to me, it doesn't fit. This isn't what Memphis should be looking for.
Right.
So I don't love this
So
deal
it's
as much for
more
either team.
beneficial for the Pacers. I mean, it says there's a chance of it being, projected wins, increasing their record.
I guess if you're assuming that the core they have, with Oladipo coming back, obviously Sabonis having a career year, he would fit, right? He would kind of fit that roster more so than Lamb, who's kind of seeing his minutes go down. But
I
I
don't
don't know.
really see that much,
I
right?
don't see a lot of movement
And
either
then we've
side.
got 2 and 3 years, and they're still not getting that first round pick that they're kind of looking for. Get
Yeah,
younger.
that would be the only. Yeah, and so for the Grizzlies, I really don't think this is a good deal for them at all.
Right.
For the Pacers, it's okay because then the worst case scenario doesn't work out next year. You have Lamb and McDermott off the books, and then you can reload and try to get somebody else, which probably won't happen. So it's okay for Indiana, but it's just not good for the Grizzlies.
No. I'm gonna go C.
Yeah,
This one.
solid. Maybe a C plus. I go C plus.
Okay.
All right, here comes the 3-team trade. You always have to have one.
Yes. Okay, so let's take a look. We have the Hawks, the Grizzlies, and the Pistons this time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hawks would get Andre Drummond. Wow.
Remember we did trade
Yeah.
machine on Andre Drummond.
Yes.
You thought we were done with him. We're not done with him.
Take
right?
a look. And for those of you who don't know, we're going to talk about this right now before anyone goes anywhere. Okay, don't forget to watch to the end, because when I screw up, he likes to put that in. So
I have
wait
to
till
see
the end for our bloopers. Anyway, back to Andre Drummond. Yes, that was another trade machine we did. And wow, he's going to the Hawks this time. The Grizzlies would get Evan Turner and Tony Snell. We know them. We've heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Pistons would get Alex Len, DeAndre Bembry, Andre Iguodala, and Solomon Hill.
This is kind of a weird one.
I see a strange combination on the Pistons, but that's just my opinion.
It's strange because, okay, what do the Pistons need to do? Rebuild. What do the Grizzlies need to do? Well, not rebuild because they're in the
Just
midst
get
of rebuild.
younger.
Get some young pieces. Snell and Turner, it's the same thing. This doesn't really fit for them.
Yeah.
The Pistons.
And they're the same player.
Why would Iguodala go to the Pistons? Why would they do that? And none of those players really should be anything they're coveting. The only thing they might be coveting is the fact that they're expiring contracts. So I guess for the Pistons, this is basically getting rid of Drummond.
Getting rid of Drummond, but why?
But you get nothing back that you're
Why
going to
would
hold on
you
to.
want to get rid of Drummond?
Yeah, I mean so
Like,
unless you're Atlanta, which again, even if you're Atlanta, I still don't even know if you love this because you're giving up these guys to get Drummond for maybe a year. I think it's going to take longer than that before Atlanta contends. So this is.
I don't think it's as bad for Atlanta as you made that sound. Now, I don't know if that's how you feel, but the way it kind of sounded, it's not so bad. Anytime you're getting Drummond, are you kidding?
You get a player like that, but I'm just saying. Well, I guess I just want to see Drummond go somewhere else. Maybe that.
I'm leaning between a B minus and a C. I'm gonna go C. because I don't really see it benefiting Grizzlies as much, and it's not going to do much for the Pistons, but I like it for the Hawks.
Yeah, C minus. Sorry, it's not doing it for me.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. That is our trade machine, Andre Iguodala.
If you want to check out all of the other trade machines, which you should, check out our playlist, which will be up at the end. And of course, we already mentioned we got Andre Drummond, Kevin Love, Chris Paul. Basically, anybody who's been rumored to be traded, we're covering it.
Yeah, we've got, I think it's, no, February 6th is the deadline. February 6th is the deadline. So we're going to do as much as these, push as much as these out as we can so that we, it's kind of interesting. It makes this fun, right? To watch.
Everybody loves. People follow the trades in the free agent stuff more than the actual games in the NBA.
Sometimes.
All the time. That's what we're here for. We're all about the drama.
All right. So anyway, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Give us a like if you enjoyed this. And at any time you want us to put out a certain content, certain video, let us know. Comment below. We love to interact with you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, today, wherever you are in this world. Peace and love, everyone. Woo! Peace and love. Today we are talking trade machine, and this time
we'll tell you who it is.
Oh, shut up. No.
Okay.
Okay, go. Delete it. What is that? Oh my gosh, that's too close. Okay.
It's not a mirror. Not a mirror. Do you ever notice I look kind of like the coyote?
Aw, no wonder I like you so much. What?
Seriously, like
What?